Welcome back and thank you for staying with Morning Express. 35 minutes past 7 a.m. We continue with the broadcast, bringing you up to speed with the latest developments. This time round, we focus on the person of interest, and he is the newly appointed Senate Deputy Minority Leader who is also serving as the Kilifi Senator, Stewart Madzayo. He's a former judge who has revolutionized the coastal politics, and now the University of Bombay trained lawyer actually joins me in studio, bearing in mind he was elected to represent the people of Kilifi in 2013. But before that, he served as a judge in the Industrial Court of Kenya for roughly 9 years before he ascended into that particular political leadership role. Now, recently, Madzayo was elevated politically with that particular position as a Senate Deputy Minority Leader. Many thanks for your time and welcome to studio.
You're welcome.
Well, we appreciate your presence right here. First of all, I think it would be proper to start with a congratulatory message on your recently appointed position as the Senate Deputy Minority Leader. Talk to us about this. How exactly did you see it coming? Did it hit you by surprise, or this is the nature of politics simply?
Well, I believe, good morning, viewers, and I want to be very candid about it. These are events that take place in politics, and you never know when they are coming. At times you hear about it, at times you don't. So this is something, to me, it was just one of those issues that came in by surprise.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think you understand why so many people are reading too much into it, not just because you're from the coast region, but perhaps because of the latest political developments. We had Cleophas Malala, who is an ANC member of the defunct or not defunct NASA team, actually who was occupying that position before you, and he seemed not to be too excited about the new person who's taking over this particular position. Talk to us about this, because the nature of party politics in Kenya, it's serving interests. So, well, what do you make of the recent turmoil we sort of saw?
There are no turmoils as such. I can't categorize that issue as the turmoil within NASA.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, NASA coalition is still there, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And we have quite a number of people who are in, quite a number of my colleagues, senators, who are in NASA and are occupying positions within the NASA coalition in the Senate. I don't think anybody should take it like it's a serious issue as such. It's one of those events that take place in Parliament and in accordance with the procedures of Parliament. We have our own standing orders in the Senate. And the changes of leadership come in and go. And it doesn't mean that when Stewart Madzayo is elected to such a position, then he can't leave at some stage. He can leave any time. So it's a matter of accepting that politics is dynamic and it keeps on changing. We realize that sometimes back, we had similar changes, and there wasn't anything. There was no fuss. But I'm surprised, basically, really, how Kenyans or how the people look at it, and this is just a storm in a teacup. I don't think it's an issue as such.
Okay, we won't read too much into it, but allow us to perhaps interrogate your life before politics. You made an entrance in 2002, contesting for Member of Parliament seat unsuccessfully. However, talk to us before this. Did you always have an ambition to join politics? Was it always at the back of your head, even if you were practicing law at that time?
I should say yes.
Yes.
I believe my training itself, after when I came back into the country, I joined the Kenya School of Law. As you know, that everybody has to undergo the Kenya School of Law. After that, then I was sworn in as an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. And then, of course, I took up an appointment at the Attorney General Chambers as a state counsel. Basically taking up matters of the state to court as a state counsel. Thereafter, I went to the Kenya Post and Telecommunication Corporation as a corporation secretary, where I served quite some time as a corporation secretary. And then there's a time I left for practicing advocate. I left for practice, to practice law back home.
Okay.
I went established a farm in Mombasa, where I practiced, very successful.
For quite a number of years, yes.
Well, I believe for quite a number of years. But while there, I was also elected as the chairman of the Coast Branch Law Society of Kenya. Mm-hmm. So leadership basically is one thing that is not new to me.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So after serving my term as the chairman of the Law Society of Kenya Coast Branch, I left and then continued practice. At some stage, I was elected again as the Coast Branch chairman of the Agricultural Society of Kenya, mm-hmm. where I served for quite some time there. Before again, I was elected as the national chairman of the Agricultural Society of Kenya, where I also served, very successful, and I think I did a good job at the Agricultural Society of Kenya, where I assisted the farmers in this country to realize their produce, to realize their potential in their farming, and that's a time when Kenya was food secure. Mm-hmm. And so I can say I'm proud about that.
Well, decorated life in terms of leadership and servant leadership, if I might call it that. Perhaps let's talk about the lawyer who also happens to be a former judge, Stewart Madzayo. Your life under the bar, serving under the bar, talk to us about it. How exactly was it compared to perhaps your life in politics now?
Well, I think it's an aspiration of every young lawyer
yes.
to grow up and become one of the top lawyers in the country, which I want to say that I'm very proud that while practicing, I think I was one of the most outstanding lawyers in the country. Mm. And that's why I think I found my way to the bench. I handled quite a number of complicated cases. Yeah. And I think majority of it was maybe political cases. Some were, of course, the ordinary cases. And as usual, the practice of law is that. And that's how it was quite exciting to be there. It was quite exciting to also mentor the young lawyers coming into the field. And I'm proud that the firm of Madzayo and Company Advocates, which is currently now is Madzayo, Mrima, Jadi Advocates, produced quite a number of prominent advocates in this country who are prominent practicing advocates of the High Court.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perhaps I can escalate this further. You serve as a member of one arm of the government, but you definitely have deep roots in yet another arm of the government. I'm talking about the legislative and the judicial arm of government. Perhaps to those who might critique the working relationship between these two arms of government, as an insider, how best would you define the working relationship between these two arms of government as it is right now? And in case of any room for improvement, what exactly would you focus on?
The Constitution is very clear in this matter, that there should be separation of powers. And I don't think that it would be fair for any arm of the government to violate that constitutional provision, that each arm of the government plays a very important role in the smooth running of this government. Okay. The judiciary has a very important role, I should say, in this country. We can't do anything. This is not a banana republic. It is a republic that is democratically elected. and it has its own way of operational. And I think Kenya has done well so far. Only in some incidences where we've had at times when the courts make some rulings or orders, they might not be obeyed, and that's a violation of the law. And I don't think it should be encouraged. It takes us back. So I think, but generally, if you, I don't want to compare Kenya with any other jurisdiction in terms of whether there has been interference between the executive and the judiciary and the legislature. I know quite a lot is out there, but unless you're in there, then you get to know exactly what's all this about. But so far as I'm concerned, each arm of the government, be it the executive, be it the legislature, and be it the judiciary, each arm of the government has played its role.
Okay, now what do you tell the critics who might see as the judiciary is being undermined in one way or the other? We have the appointment of those 41 judges, which hasn't been approved till date. Talk to us about this.
Yeah, I think it's very, very unfortunate, where we have quite a number of matters now pending in court all over the country. And I think the 41 judges who were basically interviewed by the Judicial Service Commission and proved to be fit to hold those offices. It's a bit unfortunate that the president has declined to approve that selection of those interviews, saying that there are certain issues that has been taken to him, and which are to him some of these judges are not eligible to operate in those offices. I would say it would be very important if the president would have pointed out as to which ones are these judges, and leave out the rest of the judges who have not been maybe mentioned to have been engaged in some activities that maybe led to the president to think they're not fit to occupy those offices. Yeah. But unfortunately, the president is not coming out very clear. He has not told the public as to why he has not been able to swear in those people, which is very unfortunate. And yet the Kenyans out there who are taxpayers are waiting for this kind of delivery of services, which is very acute. At the moment, judges are working under so much pressure. And you can imagine in such kind of conditions, well, let's give credit to some of to the judges who are doing their best in such kind of a situation, where I was there and I know what it means to have almost 10 hearings in a day, which is not humanly possible. And you are expected to write those judgments. And there are various applications that are being made by lawyers. There are matters which come under certificate of urgency, where you have to also handle that, and then hear these matters. I think it is only prudent if the president, and I would advise that let the President of the Republic of Kenya approve the selection of the Judicial Service Commission with regards to the 41 judges, without any further delay. Yes. Something
that the judiciary is fondly criticized of is the timely dispensation of justice. Backlog of cases, and we have the previous Chief Justice, David Maraga, who actually did his part in trying to clear this backlog and what has been commonly termed in reference to the judiciary in terms of slow dispensation of justice. Since you served within the confines of the court of law, what say you about this often raised criticism about the slow dispensation of justice?
Yeah, Maraga is one of the most outstanding Chief Justice that we've ever had in this country, I must confess. And he's one person that I've really admired. And his comments with regards to some issues, particularly on the delay of the dispensation of justice, there are quite a number of factors that come into play. You see, a judge is a human being, just like any other person, and he can take that much. And at times, you can be overwhelmed by matters in court. But you see, it doesn't only take a judge to delay matters. We have my colleagues, we are all lawyers, who come. Sometimes you have to receive applications from advocates who maybe they're not in court because they have suddenly got issues that maybe domestically, a child falls sick, a wife falls sick, or he falls sick, and he has to send somebody to court to say he's not able to attend court because of some reasons or another. Incidences where maybe you receive a medical certificate to indicate the lawyer has not been able to handle this matter. And also at times where certain clients are late to give their lawyers proper instructions, or they decide to change those instructions, or at times even litigants themselves coming to say that I've changed my lawyer, so I want the court to give me time so that I can look for another lawyer. So it doesn't mean that the delay in dispensation of justice is caused by the judges only. There are quite a number of factors that come into play as to why at times matters delay. So you will realize that if you fall sick today, yeah, and you're supposed to be in court to defend a client, will you go to court when you're sick? Definitely not. Somebody else from your office, or you can call a friend to hold your brief in court and say, my learned friend is not feeling well, and he has rushed to the hospital to see a doctor. And therefore, he has requested me to come and seek an adjournment in this matter. I've spoken to my colleague on the other side, and he has no objection. So what's left for you as a judge? Do you say, no, we will have to continue?
No.
We will have to proceed?
Yes.
And yet somebody else is, and yet the advocate who is supposed to handle that matter on the other side has already been made very clear to you that he's in the hospital, and we never know. If you insist on proceeding, the next thing you may hear, that advocate who you are forcing to come to court has died. So what happens?
Yes.
You look like, I mean, really, it's going to be murky about the whole thing. So I think it's only prudent to look at issues and consider that there are certain times where certain issues crop up and matters cannot proceed in court.
Yeah, definitely.
So I do not agree that judges deliberately or magistrates at whatever level in their capacity deliberately delay matters in court. They don't.
Okay.
And if they do, then it's very unfortunate. Or even a judge is a human being, he can fall sick.
True, that's definitely a possibility. But how would you speak to your colleagues who might have the assumption that perhaps the judiciary is the weakest link in the fight against corruption?
I do not agree. I think it's the presentation of the matters in court. If you come with a matter in court, and then the prosecutor is the one who has to handle that baby until delivery, I think the onus of proof does not shift. It lies with the prosecution until the end. So the only option left now is for the person who is defending himself to just simply defend himself. He's not there to give you evidence. So if the prosecutor cannot handle his matters very well, it's an open thing that says very clearly, when there's a shadow of doubt that has been cast on that matter, the court is left with no alternative but to acquit the accused. So I think, all in all, the prosecutor must do their homework.
Okay.
The people who bring matters to court owe it to the people they represent.
They're representing.
Yeah, so if you bring a weak case definitely you are going to fail. If you bring a good case and you've done your homework as a prosecutor, you've got everything ready and you have ably prosecuted your matter, definitely you're going to get the conviction. I do not see how you're not going to get the conviction when you have a clear-cut case and you've transcended beyond any shadow of reasonable doubt.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's really proper. And I mean, I was asking in your capacity as a retired judge, but let's talk about politics right now. And of course, Coast Region politics has been playing quite a key role in the day-to-day political developments around the country. We've had talk of a regional party being formed, at least according to most of the members of parliament from the Coast Region. Talk to us about it. How important is it for the Coast Region to have a regional party, or at least a coalition of coast-based parties at this particular point?
One important issue I want to say is the fundamental principle of law, or in the alternative, the Constitution, does not allow for a regional party, does not allow for a tribal party, does not even allow for either Western Province party or coastal-based party or Luo Nyanza-based party or Nairobi-based party, Machakos, or Kambani-based party. It does not.
But we usually see the case.
Well, as much as we want to look at it that way, that's an interpretation. Kenyans are very, they're very.
It's a smart population.
It's a very smart population,
Yes.
And therefore you can't say that they will stop thinking.
True.
Believing that each party has its base, if we want to go with that kind of a very narrow corridor of thinking. Then I don't think I qualify to comment on a regional party. But if anybody by chance happens to come from the coast, the way it has been everywhere, everybody knows that coast is right now very keen to form a political party. We have seen the recent activities of maybe governors going to have a cup of tea with the president.
Yeah, true.
We have seen also Mheshimiwa Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga, Baba, coming to the coast for some meetings and giving his opinion about the formation of a political party at the coast. This is very normal, and I think it's a very healthy discussion for people to talk about. So if Coast intends to go that direction, I don't think it should be viewed like this is a coastal-based party. I think it should be viewed like, as per the Constitution, we can't turn a blind eye to it. That Ford Kenya, for an example, the leader comes from Bungoma, my senior, Masika Wetangula, but he has members of county assembly, he has members of parliament all over the country.
Even in Coast as well.
Yes,
Matuga, for example. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's what I'm talking about. Would you call that one a regional party?
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
But
so I don't think if any formation like Shirikisho at one time had a member of parliament, I think in a place in Kisii,
yes,
or something like that, and Shirikisho was known to be a coastal-based party. I think it depends on the kind of unwavering support where the party has its base. And like ODM is based, you can even say ODM is a coastal-based party.
Well,
if you really have to look at it,
yeah,
even Luo Nyanza did not vote for ODM the way Coast voted for ODM.
True.
Now, did you make ODM a coastal-based party? So basically, you can see that it's a national party. So we are looking into a national outlook. So if the leaders will come from the coast and they want to form a political party,
all right,
yeah,
okay,
to go out there and look for other other people who can join them, I'm not seeing anything wrong in that.
All right.
Absolutely.
Well, we'll delve deeper into the recent political movements within the coastal region, and perhaps that's why people are reading so much into your appointment into that senatorial leadership position. Allow us to take a short break, Senator. We'll be back with more, deliberating, of course, about perhaps a little bit more about the coastal-based politics and what role the Senate leader right here in terms of the minority leader Stewart Madzayo will actually play going forward in his newly found role. Do stay with Morning Express. We'll be back in a few.
This is KTN News.